What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State basketball plays their round 2 game of the NCAA tournament on Saturday, 2:45 on CBS against the 6th-seeded Louisville Cardinals. Now, throughout their history, Michigan State and Louisville have had some pretty good tournament games. Are we in for another classic on Saturday? Louisville, coming off of a win against South Florida in the first round, ended up being a 4-point win. They were up by a little more than that at times, but ended up pulling it out with the 4-point win in the first round. Michigan State, obviously coming off of that win on Thursday, North Dakota State. So both of these teams moving on to round 2. Should be a good one here on Saturday. But before we do jump into this game, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Michigan State basketball content on the channel. We'll have more college basketball NCAA tournament content on the channel. So just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So let's just jump into this game for Louisville. You look at them on the year, 24-10 overall, 11-7 in the ACC. Now, they started out the year really hot, and they were, I think they were in the top 10 at one point. I could be wrong. They were ranked fairly high at one point, were one of the favorites in the ACC. Obviously, Duke was the favorite, pretty much all year, and rightfully so, but Louisville was up there. They ended up finishing 6th or, 5th in the conference. Overall, had a solid year overall, had a 12-point win over number 9 ranked Kentucky at that time. You move on, tight loss to Arkansas, win over Indiana, got blown out by Tennessee. You move down, close loss to Duke, close loss to Virginia as well. They did get blown out by Duke a little later on, but you look at the end of the season, and in that ACC tournament, they were able to get a win at Miami to end the regular season, then a win against SMU in the ACC tournament, and then ended up a 5-point loss to Miami to end their ACC tournament before going on to play South Florida in that first round game to an 83-79 win. In that game for them, I mean, we'll get into it when we get into a little bit more of their stats here, but Isaac McKinley for them, 7 for 10 from 3, 23 points. Ryan Cronwell for them, 2 for 7 from 3, 18 points. Overall for them, 13 for 25, 52% from 3. Something they've done all year, one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country over the course of the year. And the thing is with them too is they're good at shooting the 2-point ball as well. We'll get into that here in a second, but a very impressive opening round game for them. But South Florida did end up, fighting back, as we said, and made it a game. Louisville was up by 10 at half, and they were able to stretch that even a little bit more in the second half. But South Florida just kept crawling back. So credit to them, but Louisville able to hold them off. Now, Louisville is without Michael Brown Jr. Their, second leading scorer, one of their best players there. But we'll get into stats for them. Ryan Cronwell, about 19 points a game with 5 rebounds and 3 assists, a steal, 34% from 3. Obviously, as we said, without Michael Brown Jr. But Javon Hadley for them, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 46% from 3. Not as high of volume, though. Isaac McKinley, we talked about, hit 7 threes in that first round game. He averages 11 and 3 rebounds, 39% from 3. Sonata Frew adds 9 and 6 rebounds for them. Adrian Woolley adds 8 for them. In terms of assists, Michael Brown Jr. was their top assist guy with about 5 assists a game. Besides that, they don't have anyone over 3, so that takes a majority out of their 17 assists per game. They average about 85 points a game, a really good scoring team overall, 39 rebounds, 17 assists. We said a lot of that is missing with Michael Brown Jr. In their game on Thursday, they finished it with 17 assists, so they still got their average. A lot of it was Ryan Cronwell able to distribute the ball. Also had 5 from Kobe Rogers off the bench. So that was definitely something they were able to adjust to without one of their best players, ball handlers, Michael Brown Jr. 7 steals, 3 blocks, 12 turnovers, 47% from the field, 77% from the free throw line, and 36% from 3. Going through a little bit even more of their numbers here, 71st in assist to turnover ratio, 325th in fast break points a game, only about 7 per game. They're 8th in 3-point attempts per game. They get up 32 a game. They're going to get up a lot of threes, which could mean a lot of long rebounds for Michigan State, defensive rebounds, a lot of long offensive rebound opportunities for them. So that's something to watch for here in the game plans. They're 63rd% in 3-point percentage, that 36% we talked about here. 40th in rebounds per game, about 39 a game. And like we talked about, offensive rebounds, 133rd with 11 offensive rebounds per game. So that's definitely going to be a key here for Michigan State, is to keep them off of the glass, specifically the offensive glass, and not allowing those second chance points in this one. So forcing tough, long looks for Louisville. We know that they can hit the threes, so just make them tough looks. Try to, kind of like we talked about in that first round game against North Dakota State, a good 3-point shooting team. Try to run them off the line as best as possible. If they are able to get them, try to make it a tough look. Keep them off the offensive glass, so then you can get your break going for Michigan State. That's obviously when Michigan State is most successful. Be physical inside too. We'll get into some more numbers for them, but they're a good 2-point percentage defense team as well. And they're good at 2-point percentage too. They just like to shoot a lot of threes. So you bring the physicality to them. That's what Michigan State was able to do in the first one, going down low. We saw Carson Cooper have a big game as well. And just going downhill, I think, will be big in this one for Michigan State. And a track meet. You want this game to be a track meet overall. Louisville is pretty high tempo. They're 65th in the country in adjusted tempo. So they'll run too. But like for Michigan State, if you're able to translate your defense into misses for them, and you start the track meet, I think that's, a-okay for Michigan State, and they'd be okay making this a track meet. But this all comes down to defense. This is a really good offensive team. As we said, they're going to get up a lot of threes, get a lot of opportunities. They're a good rebounding team as well, so Michigan State is going to have to, kind of show their strength. That Michigan State's been one of the best rebounding teams in the country all year. They're going to have to show that in this one against another solid rebounding team as well. But for this one, I think you're going to need, we saw it a little bit, Jordan hit a couple, Kurtang hit one, Trey Fort hit one, but threes. But we're going to need a couple threes from that group, that two group, the Jordan Scott, Kurtang, Trey Fort. We're going to need a couple from them, like not just like 4. We're going to need, probably like 5 or so from that group. That can be one player getting hot, like we've seen Kerr get hot for 4 or so in a game, or it can be, a 3-2-2. Like, however you get there, I think you need at least 5 from that group in this one. You're going to need Jeremy and Jax to hit a couple as well, because this, I think, is going to be a fairly high-scoring game. Obviously, Michigan State, Michigan State and Louisville are both solid defensively overall, but in this game, specifically for Michigan State, you're going to need to put up points, and you're going to need some guys to hit shots. And for Michigan State, if you can continue to get into the paint, because I think you want to do that first. Like, you're going to need to hit some shots, but if you can, exploit some stuff with Coop like you did in the last game, that first round game against North Dakota State, obviously different team, different personnel. But if you can create good stuff, Jeremy getting downhill and creating those opportunities, for the bigs, or even Cohen Carr on slot cuts and whatnot, then I think that's a recipe for success for Michigan State. But Coop, Jackson, Cohen, Coop kind of inside and Cohen inside as well. Like we said, those slot cuts with Jeremy kind of speed dribbling to the baseline and, kind of slot cutting back to Cohen, and even Cohen just like, yes, the fast breaks and everything, but also too, just the, when he gets the swing passes, kind of pump faking, driving to the lane, finishing through contact, will be big in this game. Jackson, that pick and pop game was really going kind of last time, able to get a couple looks off of it. I think that'll be key in this one. You need to get, 2 or 3 of those to go for Jax in this one. But then Jeremy, I think Jeremy's going to need a special game in this one. We saw him getting everyone involved kind of last game. You're going to need that as well, getting everyone involved, get everyone rolling. But Jeremy, I think, going to need a little bit more scoring in this one. He was able to set everyone up last game, like which we wanted to, get everyone kind of comfy in the tournament, get them kind of settled in. But now I think we're going to need a little more points for Jeremy in this one. Still the assist. I mean, if he's able to dish out 14 assists or something, then okay, maybe that's a difference in guys, because that just means guys are hitting shots. But still getting those assists and taking care of that first. But also too, just being able to get downhill, finishing in the basket, getting some of those mid-range looks. And, if he's continuing to getting those, swing pass looks for 3, then I think that'll be key in this one. Needs to knock him down. But when we look at Bart Torvik in this one, they have Louisville as the number 12 overall team in the country. Their 6th adjusted efficiency offense, 44th adjusted efficiency defense. And Michigan State is currently the number 11 team in the country, 26th adjusted efficiency offense, 15th adjusted efficiency defense. Bartorvik has this game as a very close one. 76-75 win for Michigan State. Bartorvik has it. I believe the sportsbook have this at like 3.5, 4.5 right now. So I expect a very tough game in this one, a very tight game in this one. So we'll definitely be spending our Saturday afternoons sweating it out, and hopefully Michigan State can do what they need to do to get to a second weekend in this one. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. We'll be back with a recap after this one, but thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.